So in Warthunder, sometimes you just have to grind tech trees that you don't want to grind or that you find very interesting within the game. Now, the thing for me at least is that I find Israel very interesting, but also one of those tech trees I don't want to grind at the same time, which is pretty funny. So I'm going to do it for you whenever it comes to Warthunder and talk about my experience from it. And basically, it's been a very fun experience, kinda, but also very interesting and frustrating. And what I mean by that is basically I've started grinding it out through, the M51s. I did that way before, but I started spading the magach 1, magach 2s, and now we're on to the rank 5s, which is the 7/7s. And to be honest, the 7/7s feel a lot better than the magach 2s did, just because I feel like the lineup is a lot better whenever it comes to everything. And also, you have very punchy guns that are stock, unlike the M48s, which come with APCR, and you just basically have to jot around the map until you get your heat FS. Because basically, when I've been playing this thing, is when everyone is spading out the BTRs, which are getting the BTRs, which means a ton of IS-6s have been around, and a ton of T44-100s, and an M48 with stock APCR isn't really going to do much against them, which is kind of sad. I wish they would kind of just go and get rid of the stock APCR, especially on the M48, and just give it the APHE, so you don't have to feel like, at least when you pen, like you'd kill them, like it's not going to be that huge of an issue. But the thing, at least for me, is that I don't really like the Israeli tech tree, and it's not really a reason about politically or anything like that. Like, I don't want that spewed in the comments, but the reason I don't like Israel, at least in the sense of Warthunder, is that it's just a bunch of incomplete lineups. It's just an incomplete lineup simulator. You're missing a ton of things that other nations just get by default. For example, if you look at the magachs 1 and 2 at the 7-3 lineup, you don't have a CAS element at all. Like, you have a P51, you have a Spitfire, but around that battle rating for like Russia, for example, they're running out with SU-9s, SU-11s. For America, you get the F-80s. For Germany, you have the 262s. And you're set there with a P51, probably the best thing that you can get just because it has a ton of ammo and you can go top-down attack some of these stuff whenever it comes to the enemy team. The other thing about it is your SPA is very limited with the TCM-20, which is one of those things I've not even unlocked yet just because it's basically behind me now. Same with the Zyklon Tega. It's one of those vehicles that probably I'll spade way in the future whenever I don't really care to actually do it. And since the SPA line just in general is not that great, I feel like it's not a thing that I want to go down as of now. Maybe we'll do it in the past, especially since, it's 46,000 to get a 4.3 SPA, which also, if you want to spade by itself, doesn't have a lineup. You have to up tier it to at least 6.0. Just think about this, right? A 4.3 SPA that if you want to spade has to go to 6.0 or you play it by itself at 4.3. That is just an incomplete lineup if I've ever seen one. Now, whenever it comes to Israel, I don't ever think it should have became its own independent tech tree. I feel like the reason it became its own independent tech tree is just because of the reception from the event whenever it came to the American Merkavas, where basically everyone was wanting to get one because it was cool. It was a new nation technically within the game. But the thing about the American Merkavas is they have a ton of better lineups within the tech tree itself. For example, the 10.7 one, which is I believe the Merkava Mark 3D, it has got a huge lineup. It has Abrams, M1A1s, IPM1s. It has a ton of good things about that whole entire lineup. It also has, SAM systems. It also, 10.7, so you'll be able to, bring out your F5E, which is a really good jet, to be able to take down all of the helicopters and also be able to dogfight very, very effectively. And it's just a really good lineup whenever you look at that. Even the 8.7 ones, even the 9.0 one is a pretty good lineup whenever it comes to Warthunder. And I feel like that's something that's kind of lame in my opinion, is whenever you have just better Merkavas because of their lineup being better, just in other tech trees, which is kind of sad, to me at least. So the other issue, at least for me, is the magachs. Like, I feel like the magachs are too plentiful within the tech tree because, I don't know, maybe it's just easy to make M48 clones over and over through the magach 2s all the way down to the magach 7Cs. And really the only difference that you ever, get within these magachs is you either get 4 things. All right, so you get a stabilizer, you get thermals, you get APFSDS, or you get add-on armor, which doesn't really mean anything because you're still an M48 and everything can still pin you, which I think is kind of lame because, whenever you add on armor to stuff that can already just get super pinned, you basically make it heavier and then you also make it slower, which means it can't get around the map as quickly, which I think is a little bit of a negative whenever it comes to everything. Now, the ways at least I think that they should improve the Israeli tech tree is that, they should start adding light tanks. I'm not really sure why they haven't added any light tanks to rank 5, 6, or 7. It's basically very, very barren and also, bolster up the SPA whenever it comes to everything. And I feel like Israel can be a little bit better of a tech tree. But at the end of the day, I believe I could go on forever about how the Israeli tech tree has been poorly implemented within Warthunder, but sadly, I don't think it's going to do any good because it's already here. So yeah, I'm going to be continuing grinding out the Israeli tech tree whenever it comes to the Twitch drops, which are coming on the 29th. So if you want to come and see some of the paint that is the Israeli tech tree, definitely check out the Twitch stream, which we should be live around 9 p.m. EST on some of the days. We will be starting early on the 29th just because we need to do some stuff. But at the end of the day, it is one of those things that I think Warthunder needs to improve on, especially since they're going to be adding new minor nations to Warthunder. Apparently that, maybe they're their own tech trees, is don't have a repeat of Israel. Make sure that you're actually able to put in complete lineups which can compete at least on the terms of like the UK and as well as Japan. I mean, even Japan and UK suffer at some areas of the game, but at least majority of the time they do have a complete lineup, which is pretty decent, and it can support the game that they're in. So I hope all you have a wonderful day. Make sure to like and sub to the channel if you want to do that sort of stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next Warthunder video.